Good morning, this is Tanya coming to you from Peddler's Den. I wanted to share another one of the projects, the mini classes that we offered from our booth this fall. This one features our snow family. It can be used as a Christmas card, a winter birthday cheer. Because it's got the family, it can be from all of us. It's a really versatile card. Now, when we did ours, we stamped on uncoated cardstock and we used colored pencils to color it. You can, if you're a Copic kind of person, you can use the appropriate paper and ink and you can color it with the Copics. The purpose of this video is not going to be to talk about coloring it. The purpose of this video is going to be to talk about how to construct it, some real basic masking and so forth. When we did ours, we included glitter. I personally love glitter, and I hope you can see the glitter here. We've been experimenting with glues to use with our glitter. We have always used the Art Glitter Dries Clear, and this is the number 85 crystal. We sell it on our website. It is absolutely my favorite glitter, but the Dries Clear can't be shipped any time that the temperature en route may dip down below 40. So that's been a real deterrent. Recently I've been experimenting and I am finding out that pretty much any adhesive that is liquid that will dry clear will work. And what we started using in our booth projects is just the Tombow Aqua. You know, you've got the ballpoint end, which is a pretty decent detail tip, and you know, it's quick, it's easy, so you don't really have to have a real specific glue to do your glittering. We are working on uncoated cardstock, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to stamp our snow family. So I'm going to grab my black ink pad. I'm going to ink Papa. Now the snow family is a set. When you buy it, you get all three, Mama, Papa, and Baby. So I'm going to start with Papa pretty far over here because we want to have room to have our barn before we're done. And then we're going to go to Baby. And finally, we are going to stamp Mama. Okay, there's our snow family. Now, if you haven't done much scene building, everybody gets confused. Everybody thinks that you should start with, you know, the back and work forward, but that's really not the case. When you're trying to build a scene, the purpose of masking is to allow you to protect an image while you tuck something behind it. So in this case, we've started with our snow family because we're going to tuck the barn behind, we're going to tuck the mountains behind the barn, and we're going to tuck the snow beneath and behind. And that's what derails a lot of people too. They don't really think about tucking something underneath. This becomes important with any kind of landscape element. The next thing we're going to briefly look at is how to cut your mask. Now, the left-hand images here are my masks, but I've included what I have cut away. You can always cut inside of anything that is solid black. Typically you cut inside of your black outline of your image. I cut off all of the little sticks and what have you because even though they're not totally solid, they're close enough. And in this case, I cheated a little bit. I cut the mittens off too. And I did that because even though they may get an image stamped through them, by the time you color them, it doesn't matter. You're going to cover all of that up. So that gives you an idea. The video isn't going to go into exhaustive depth on masking. When you position your mask, you want to be able to see this part that you cut off. You want to be able to see that stamped image peeking out all the way around your mask. Otherwise, it doesn't do any good to cut the mask properly if you position it improperly. And since we're working with a white mask, the masks are made from Eclipse tape. Eclipse tape is available for purchase on our website. But since these haven't been used and they're white, it is difficult for you to see that these stamped images are peeking out all the way around each one of those. Now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to tuck the barn next. So let's see, I got to find my barn, ink my barn, and when I'm inking my stamps, especially if it's the first time I've used them today, I always look to see if I'm getting a good, even coating of ink on them. Now we are going to stamp this right across Mama here. And the mask is going to allow us to tuck the image behind her. Now I have to usually stand up to do this, and I tend to hold the stamp still while I walk a thumb around it. It's really important when you start dealing with masks to get a good pressure right around where the layers are. Let's see what we did. And that looks really good. Now we have a mask for the barn as well. And we're going to put that on. So that we can tuck the mountain behind the barn, and so it's a little bit easier to put the snow on. Now this is one of our best-selling stamps. This stamp can be used as earth, it can be used as snow, it can be used as sand. So it's one of our more versatile stamps. So we're going to, and you can use different, did I move this out of range? No, I don't think so. You can slant it. Now I do have a mask cut for this because I'm going to need it later. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on so I can have my snowbanks going different directions and what have you without worrying too much about it. If you were in a big hurry, you don't have to go through this because you can undoubtedly arrange your snowbanks so that you don't have to do this. But Let's see, how do I want that last one on? I think I want to put this like right here. And we'll come across like this. Now, on this one, I have the snowbank up higher, and there are some benefits to that. I keep knocking this out of the way. So I think I am going to do just a little bit more here. You know, every time I do a scene, it turns out a little bit different, and that's the way it ought to be, because this is, after all, art. So let's put another layer right here, and we're good to go. Now, I said we were going to need this later, and later has arrived because we want to tuck that mountain behind there. Okay. Now, this is uncovered. It's difficult for you to see because we've got white masks and what have you, but we've got a mask here and here, but this is our paper, and this mountain stamp is very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of paper towel, and I'm just going to cover this up so that I can put that mountain as high or as low as I want, and I don't have to worry about it stamping somewhere that will look out of place. Alrighty, now again, I'm checking the coverage. It's not bad, but I think I need a little bit more. When I color with color pencils, one of the things I do is I always deepen my shadows with my black pencil. So if things are a little bit wonky, it doesn't really matter. Okay, we're going to get those mountains up there high, and we're going to hold the stamp still while we walk the pressure around with our thumb. Remember, you have to have quite a lot of pressure where the masks overlap the paper, but you don't want to rock. Oh, see, this is what you get if you don't get enough pressure right there. And you can see on my stamp there's wet ink there, so that's not good. I'm going to attempt to fix this. I usually can get this done properly. I'm going to continue to keep the paper towel here. I'm going to take a second paper towel, and I'm going to put it here. And we're going to try to get some mountain here. And we did. There is very little in the stamping world that cannot be fixed. Now, I thought it looked a little bit odd to have this barren ridge. So I went back with one of our pine trees, and I scattered some trees in here. Now, to do this, you have to have the mask on the barn and the mask on the snowbank. And I'm going to keep my paper towel here to protect the rest of my card. Another thing with this is if you do have a little void, like the one that we just fixed, this is another way of covering it up. But this is a compositional thing. I really felt that we needed some trees. And I tucked a couple behind the barn. Alrighty, now let's take the masks off and see what we've got. I take this mask off. Take the barn mask off. Take the snow people masks off. Come on. And there you go. Let's move this up here so it's away from all of the noise. All right, let's see if you can see that. I have a bad habit of getting the... Okay, so this is how you build the scene. This is why we did it that way. Every time I do this, I end up with things just a little bit different. Like I said, I worked on uncoated cardstock and I used color pencils. When I do that, I tend to use 2 or 3 shades and I blend them together. Like I said, I always use my black to deepen my shadows. I always use black under the eaves of every building, even if they stamped properly. I add a little bit of black pencil anyway because it really helps pop them out and give them dimension. I think everything is really stamped pretty well here. You're getting good dark values, but I would use a little bit of black pencil anyway. That's just the way I do it. Now, if you've used Memento ink, you can let it dry and then color with your Copic markers. You know, you can use whatever medium you want to finish this out. I love glitter, especially on my Christmas scenes, and so I love glitter. So I hope you've learned a little bit from this. I'm gonna post. Our website is peddlersden.com. These are the Making a Scene stamps used, the Snow Family, the Christmas Western Barn, which is on the Christmas on the Farm set. You can use just the Western Barn and it just won't have the wreath, and that's fine. The Mountain Range, the Solid Pine, the Earth or Snow, and then of course the masks were made using Eclipse tape. So thank you for joining me. Have a nice holiday.